play of the drive. Give it back to Mallet, and he is crunched down at about the 16-yard line. He'll be short of a BC first down as Anwar Stewart made the stop. And this time, Wally Guano is not gambling. He will send out Sean White and the field goal unit.
And barring a fake here from the BC Lions, the non-touchdown streak in the first quarter of the Montreal Alouettes defense will remain intact.
Remarkable streak when you think about it. In a league where there's so much scoring, we mentioned earlier that last week was only the second scoreless first quarter in the league this year. Winnipeg and Edmonton had one in week 2.
Yeah, definitely a rarity in a league where there are so many different ways to score. And we get focused so much on talking about offenses when we talk about fast starts. This Montreal defense gets off to fast starts. As we said, they've been lights out good.
And White misses from 23 yards out. Still no score here in Montreal.
Touchdown, Alouettes! Great game underway here. Wait a minute, something's happening down on the field. It's Sebastian, the War Amp safety ambassador. Whoa! Dangers really are everywhere. Stop the danger. Play safe. A message from the Alouettes, the CFL, and the War Amps.
Your pizza delivery guy. Well, come on in, man. What you waiting on?
Mouth-watering toppings, fresh-baked pizzeria taste.
I like to think I deliver more than just pizza.
For fresh delivery taste without the delivery price, it's Delissio.
Well, Dan McCullough got the snap back. The holder, Buck Pierce, got the ball turned. Sean White didn't get it through, and he knows this is a big missed opportunity for his football team, and you can't let too many slip away against the Montreal Alouettes.
Remember last week, Damon Duval missed a short field goal in the game at BC Place.
Are you calling this payback?
I don't believe in that.
Some twisted sort of payback?
I don't believe in karma, but wouldn't it be something if this game came down to another late goal line stand? First down for the Alouettes from the 25, and Calvillo slings it up to Cahoon, who makes the catch up at the 30-yard line. Dante Marsh makes the stop after a gain of 6.
Dante Marsh closed quickly and delivered a big shot on this one. But Ben Cahoon, as always, hangs on to the football. Old reliable.
Interesting, Dwayne, that BC plays as its base defense a 6 defensive back package, only 2 linebackers.
Yeah, I mean, Corey Banks is a guy who's played his career at defensive back, can certainly drop back in coverage. But in the past, he's spent a lot of time close to the line of scrimmage, so they're comfortable with him sticking his nose up in there.
Second down, Calvillo stepping up again, needs some room, and gets there as he dives to the 36-yard line for a first down. Darren Miles went leaping over him, but the Alouettes will move the chain. Another scoreless first quarter for the second week in a row. BC and Montreal. First quarter stats are brought to you by Tim Hortons. Always fresh, always. And you note that less than 100 yards in total offense between the two teams. Dwayne Ford in another close to the best first quarter.
Yeah, we'll call it a good defensive battle, Gord, thus far. But the big thing, the BC Lions have been given 2 turnovers by the Montreal Alouettes. Out of character for Montreal, particularly in the early going of the football game. But the Lions not able to capitalize, and you can't let too many opportunities slip through your fingers against this Montreal team.
Especially here, where Montreal is so good at home. A lot of talk last week about the fact that Montreal has now lost 9 straight in BC. Talk about the long travel, which has the Lions chuckling a little bit. BC travels more than any team in the league and is the only team in the CFL without another team in its own time zone. So crying the blues about traveling to the Lions won't go far.
No, the Lions would definitely be a tough sell on that one.
Calvillo incomplete on the first down try. It'll bring up second down from the 35-yard line. And the Owls once again slow to get started as Wally Buono goes to work here in Montreal after a big family dinner last night. Wally was talking yesterday about his mom, 84 years old, has Alzheimer's and is not that aware of her surroundings. And Wally talking about what a bittersweet time it is to come back to Montreal. Grew up about 30 minutes from here in the city's north end. Second down. Calvillo steps up over the middle, and the pass is incomplete for Kerry Watkins, who was well covered by Corey Banks. And once again, the Alouettes will be forced to punt. Calvillo now 4 for 8 for 30 yards with an interception.
And keep an eye on number 11 here, Juwan Armour, middle linebacker. He's the guy who breaks up this play, coming off a week in which he was the defensive player of the week. Just as he glanced across there, interfered with Kerry Watkins' concentration.
Mallett and Smart are back to receive the punt. High snap. The ball gets it down. And this will be Smart from the 30-yard line. Smart gets ahead to the 45 before he's tackled on the play by Montreal's Diamond Ferry. A 16-yard return. The CFL on TSN is brought to you in part by Molson Canadian. This is our beer. And your favorite throwback uniform is?
I'm pretty fond of these Alouette uniforms, but I must say, you know, I mean, I do have my own CFL roots in Calgary, and I kind of got a kick out of the Stamps uniforms the other night.
I really like these BC uniforms. I think they're terrific. From the 45, fake to Mallett. Here comes Jarius Jackson, pulls the ball down and trying to get away. Chip Cox, though, hangs on as Jackson gets to about the 46-yard line.
Well, this defensive play is made by the speed of Chip Cox, a converted defensive back playing down in the box, playing in the front seven. You see him recognize that Jarius Jackson's got nowhere to go with this football. All he can do is run. He readjusts, redirects, gets upfield to make the play. Chip Cox, the Alouettes' leader in defensive tackles, a guy given a lot of responsibility as that Sam linebacker, being asked to play the run and frequently drop in coverage.
Jackson swings it out. Mallett falls as the ball bounces out. It'll be incomplete. And that will force the Lions to punt. Don't forget, coming up later today, the second half of our doubleheader has Saskatchewan in Winnipeg after the Riders had a pretty good one with the Bombers last week.
Yeah, and of course the controversy continues in
Which
Winnipeg. The latest news out of the Peg being veteran linebacker Baron Simpson asking for a trade after being told his role in the defense would be reduced.
White sends it down to Taylor at the 21-yard line. Taylor's taken 2 back for touchdowns this year and gets around the corner. Here comes Taylor. Needs one block and fights his way across midfield. There's a flag down as Taylor gets down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. A return of 85 yards. But there is a flag. And it is against the Alouettes. We're back to Montreal, the CFL on TSN after this.
Shop.ca.
An illegal block negates the return by Larry Taylor, and the Alouettes will now start at their own 11 instead of deep inside BC territory. Avon Coburn with the carry. And he gets out across the 15, about the 16 for a gain of 4. The tackle made by Naughton McKay-Losher.
And it'll be interesting to see if the Alouettes shift their offensive focus, start handing the ball off to Avon Coburn a little more. That's been their trend when the passing game doesn't necessarily get going early. Go to plan B, and that's a pretty good second option.
You know, Dwayne, as much as Coburn talked about not getting the ball last week, he has more carries than any back in the CFL this year. So it's not like he's being ignored.
Hey, listen, no running back is ever happy with the number of carries he gets. And really, I think what Coburn wants is more carries earlier in the football game as opposed to just the fourth quarter when they're putting teams away.
Second down, Calvillo over the middle. Now Richardson makes the catch and then runs headlong into Darren Toney as he gets up to the 30-yard line for a pickup of 14 in the Montreal first down.
Well, you saw a few minutes ago, middle linebacker Juwan Armour was right in the middle of Anthony Calvillo's passing lane. This time, a little bit of play action. You see him flow to where the running back, Avon Coburn, went. That pulled him out of the middle and helped open up a lane for Calvillo to throw that football. You see Jamel Richardson there using the big body. Little collision to get off one defender and create a little bit of space for himself.
The man who led the league with 16 touchdowns a year ago has just 2 this season. Now Calvillo way outside and complete to Brian Bratton as Bratton gets to about the 36-yard line. Of course, Jamel Richardson coming off injury, so his return makes a big difference for the Alouettes here in the second half.
Yeah, it sure does. You've always got Kerry Watkins and Ben Cahoon, but when your alleged number 3 guy, as you said, Gord, leads the league in touchdowns, 16 touchdowns last season, that's a fantastic bonus to have. Now, obviously, with Richardson having that slow start this season, you know, it's kind of nice to have Ben Cahoon and Kerry Watkins there, too. That Al's offense hasn't really missed a beat. In fact, when Richardson was out, S.J. Green came in and had a 2-touchdown performance for them.
2nd and 3. Calvillo has that pass batted at the line of scrimmage, and once again, Juwan Armour gets in there. And that will bring up another punting situation for the Alouettes.
Juwan Armour has certainly stepped up his game the last 2 weeks. After that embarrassing performance, Juwan Armour lines up on the line of scrimmage this time, what's called a jet position outside of the defensive end. He comes free, fullback Kerry Carter can't get all the way to him. And the Lions continue to do a good job of rushing, if not necessarily getting to Anthony Calvillo, but rushing his throws.
7th punt of this first half. And that was almost blocked. The ball goes down. There is no flag. Smart from the 35-yard line stepped out of bounds. And the crowd displeased, thought that Duval got roughed up there. A 42-yard punt. And a return of just a couple, but the Lions came this close to blocking Duval's effort.
Bring it in, bring it in. Okay, guys, this is it. We just need 8 yards. 8 yards. Come on, we can do it for the team, for the kids, for the next generation, for the future of the planet. Ready?
For your lawn, your garden, and your home. You'll now find over 50 Rona Eco products that respect the environment at every stage of their life cycle.
Wow, what a ground game.
Rona, doing it right.
When a phone really connects you, it's effortless. Enter your email and your contacts arrive inside in one view. And update automatically. And it lets you connect to multiple people through multiple applications, all at the same time. Being the only phone to do that is a beautiful thing. Only on the Palm Pre.
Mommy has to wait for an oil change, even though she had an appointment. Where are my kids?
Oh, they're in sales. Who wants heated seats? Yeah! Right there.
Ready for a change? Come in for a warranty-approved oil change. No appointment necessary. At Mr. Lube.
Closed captioning of the CFL on TSN is brought to you by Sport Check. Sport Check, the power of sport. Gord Miller, Dwayne Ford here in Montreal this Sunday afternoon. Still no score in the first half between the Lions and the Alouettes. BC starts from its own 35-yard line. Jarius Jackson under pressure. Slings it ahead, and the pass was almost intercepted, but falls incomplete. Wally Buono calling on Jarius Jackson this week to step up and lead the BC Lions.
Yeah.